Hi guys, Angela here to talk about using texture in storytelling and how great this sense is for pulling readers into the point of view character's perspective and amplifying emotional moments. Let's have a poke around this thesaurus to see how it can help you. Now, as you can see here, we have a variety of sensations a person might feel when they touch something. So whether your character grasps a hot door handle to escape a burning building, feels the rasp of a lover's 5 o'clock shadow against their cheek, or they're carefully dabbing poison on a barbed edge of an arrow tip, you'll find ways to describe it. To make description come alive, we really want to incorporate the different senses, but texture is especially helpful when our goal is to make readers feel part of the moment, because anything tactile is very intimate and interactive. Let's take a look at one of these textures, bumpy. You'll see this entry starts off with a list of things that would feel bumpy, because one effective way to describe texture is to use a comparison. Now you'll see that there's a list of options, both natural and man-made, and depending on what's happening in the scene and what's being touched and why, some comparisons will work and others will not. So one of the first things we want to do is think about what the character's emotions are as they're touching something with a bumpy texture, and the mood that we're trying to reinforce in the scene. For example, if your character is being held in a room underground, rock on every side, and he can't see because there's no light, we can imagine him feeling his way along the wall looking for a way out. The stone will be cold, damp, and bumpy. More importantly though, his fight or flight emotions will be activated. He's in a strange place, alone, and he can't see. The weight of anxiety is crushing him, and his breaths are coming fast. He's desperate to escape. Textures are filtered through the character experiencing them. So in this case, the bumpy wall isn't going to bring to mind something happy or pretty. He wouldn't think of it being bumpy like a seashell, something that would indicate things like open spaces, blue sky, and freedom, because those are all the opposite of what he's experiencing. He's also not going to think of the bark of a tree or a root vegetable of some kind, because neither is a fit for the texture he's encountering. Instead, we'll want to choose something unpleasant, dangerous, or create a comparison that reinforces dying hope, because our job is to describe this situation in a way that readers can imagine what he's touching, but it also reflects the raw state of his predicament and his desperation. So what might fit? In the darkness, does he feel like a blind man reading a Braille book where each word brings him closer to a tragic ending? Or does he feel like he's being devoured by an ancient creature, its calloused cold belly as old as time itself? Whatever we decide, we want readers to feel the imprint of the character's emotions, as if the two are experiencing this moment together. We can also look for ways to use texture to bring forth something deeper or more meaningful. Maybe our character is a spellcaster who's been captured, and the roughness of the wall reminds him of when he first ran his hands over the apprentice spellbook. At the time, his talents had not developed, and so he couldn't open it, but he would run his hands over the craggy cover, determined to unlock its secrets. And now, ironically, here he is in this cell, his hands exploring the rough wall with the same mission, to uncover the room's secrets and his way out. Focusing on the character's goal by tying it to another pivotal event is a way to use textures to make this moment stand out as important and rally the readers behind the character. Depending on the scene, you may want to skip the comparisons and go right to synonyms that will help you quickly convey what the texture is. If the scene is action-packed or emotions are running high and there's less self-awareness, this might be the better choice. For each texture entry, we have a weak and strong descriptive example to help you see how one is more immersive than the other. Just remember, in the real world, we don't touch things without a reason. So if you plan on describing texture, do it to draw the reader's attention to something important in the setting, or to crystallize a character's emotions, needs, or goals for readers. And for more ideas on describing textures, you can visit this tutorial here. Happy writing!